Good evening and welcome to Sunset News this Friday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather, and sports. I am Glenora Shipura. In the news tonight, children from 19 schools from all over the country took part in the Huning Bay Art Competition this year. This is the second year that Drian Stexcorn from the pre-primary school Montessori Children's House is hosting the competition in collaboration with the Beekeeping Association of Namibia. Let's take a look.
My naam is Drian Stexcorn. Ek reël die kunskompetisie vir die Bijevereniging van Namibië. Dis die tweede jaar wat ons die kompetisie doen. Verlede jaar was heel wat kleiner gewees. Ons is ongelooflik verras hierdie jaar deur 19 skole wat ingeskryf het. Ons het ongeveer 240 stukke ontvang. Van die stukke het nie 'n kategorie gehad nie, soos 3 tot 4 jaar. En dit gee ons nou weer kans om te groei na volgende jaar toe, want ons kan sien dat daar 'n behoefte is. So ons het wel die kunswerke opgesit, alhoewel die kindertjies nou nie in 'n kategorie deelgeneem het nie. Maar ons is ongelooflik gelukkig dat al die kindertjies so hard gewerk het om aan die kunskompetisie deel te neem. Dis skole van reg oor die land. En dit is ten bate van die om mense bewus te maak van bye en ook die bewaring van bye en die belangrikheid van bye in Namibië. Ons het selfs mense wat stories met ons gedeel het. Ons sal graag volgende jaar wil doen stories oor by die skole. Skole wat begin het om blomme te plant vir die bye. En wat versigtig met skoene loop om die jacaranda blommetjies sodat hulle nie dalk per ongeluk 'n bytjie raak trap nie. Die impak, en ons glo dat dit nog verder sal uitkring en dat ons nog meer mense kan insluit deur dalk nog kategorieë by te sit sodat alle skole kan deelneem, want party skole voel dalk dat omdat hulle kunsklasse kry, party van die kinders voel die ander hulle kan dalk nie goed genoeg kompeteer nie. So ons dink daaraan om miskien dit ook te skei, sodat die skole wat net vir hulle idees, want daar's sulke wonderlike idees wat ons hier gekry het, van kinders wat miskien nou nie die toegang het tot die mediums wat die kinders het nie, die wat kunsklasse neem nie. Dit is in hierdie ou historiese kerkie in Reningstraat, in Klein Windhoek. So dit is uit die ou Geverstraat uitdraai jy in Reningstraat en net nadat jy deur die riviertjie gegaan het, is baie maklik om te kry. Die kerkie staan nogal uit hier in Klein Windhoek en hier's baie parkering, die mense kan inry by die hek en hulle kan hier parkeer en binne kom kyk. Wil daar prysuitdeling wees vir die 3 wenners in elke kategorie. Hulle gaan 'n medalje ontvang. Enige tyd is in 5:00 die middag. Ons het gedink dit maak dit maklik vir ouers om as hulle net gou wil verbykom en 7:00 in die aand.
Dande Precious Metals CEO David Rai says the company is keen to help the government meet its equitable economic empowerment goals. Rai made the comments following a courtesy call to President Hage Geingob at the State House this morning. Let's take a look.
So we're very committed to our empowerment initiatives. We've had an initiative going for 5 years now. We continue to feel this is really important from a point of view of our being part of Namibia. Of course, this is something that we need to pay attention to and see how we can create wealth, not just directly at the smelter, but beyond that for groups that were previously disenfranchised. So it's a very important topic for us as well.
We apologize for the poor sound quality. Moving on to our next story, Etosha Fishing announced that its cannery will resume operations on the 30th of October 2023 to process the horse mackerel relief quota allocated by the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources in June this year. The intended purpose of the quota allocation as approved by the Cabinet, is to sustain employment at the company in the short term. The company explained that operations are only commencing in October, as Etosha Fishing had to first secure catch capacity, after which the horse mackerel quota could be landed for processing. Etosha Fishing expressed its gratitude to the Namibian government and the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, in particular Minister Derek Claassen, for the intervention to prevent the company from closing. The company also thanked the Namibian Seamen and Allied Workers Union and the company's employees for their patience and resilience amid trying times. The catching and processing of pilchards has traditionally been at the core of Etosha Fishing's operations. However, since the pilchard moratorium was implemented in 2017, keeping the company afloat has become a demanding challenge. This week, the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, during a cabinet briefing, announced that the pilchard moratorium will remain in place until the stock has recovered to a biologically sustainable level. Now, in our Story of the Day segment, Actom Energy Namibia receives a tender of $100 million. We get into this after the break.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Pieta Hawanga and Struan Steel talk about the latest technology that will be used in the power substation at Sekkeldene. This morning, Actom Energy Namibia received a tender of $100 million for this project. Let's take a look.
My name is Pieta Hawanga. So I'm the project manager for the project to integrate the whole substation together. That is now for the equipment that will go into the substation, which is basically why we were here today signing the contract. So that is the HV equipment, MTS, 132 kV, 66 kV, and then we have the 33 kV, which is GIS. Basically, and then the whole pack, protection, automation and control, integration of all the equipment in the substation, and that will basically be done by Actom, who is our contractor in this case.
Okay, good day. My name is Struan Steel. I'm the General Manager for Actom Energy Namibia, and I'm stationed here in Windhoek. And we're very proud and pleased to be appointed for this particular project over here. As Beata has described, the equipment that's gone in over there. Just to simplify it, the equipment we're putting in is basically a lot of switches. So the on-off switches and all the protection and control that operates that stuff. So that's what it's really all about. The equipment is because it's inside a building. At the coast, you can't put switchgear outside because the salty, dusty air over there collects on everything. And if you take something and you put a layer of salt on it, as soon as you get a bit of moisture on that, it creates an electrical path, and those things flash over, and you have a lot of problems with it. So what Nampower does is they put the equipment inside buildings. And if you look around the Swakopmund area, you'll see these huge, big sheds, and they have to make very, very big sheds to put this equipment into. This station now is actually going to house a lot more equipment, but in a smaller space, because we're using this technology, which is MTS or hybrid kind of switch, which is smaller and it takes up much less space and it's much lower. The building itself is a marvel. It really is beautiful, and it's worth looking at. And that's next to the road. On the road that runs behind the dunes between Walvis Bay and Swakopmund is the new Sekkeldene substation.
Moving over to community news, traffic warns against scammers. We get into this after this.
Hello and welcome to today's Sports Rep Show.
I am your host, Jesse Jackson Kauraika. In replay, Namibia, who had won the toss for the first time on this tour.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with tennis news, both on the WTA for women's and
The Walvis Bay Municipal Traffic Department has cautioned members of the public to be vigilant about scammers impersonating traffic officers to solicit money. The Walvis Bay Chief Traffic Officer Eben Platt shares more. Let's take a look.
Good day, viewers. It has come to my attention that certain members of the public are scamming people out of their hard-earned cash. They make use of my name. I'm the Chief of Traffic, Mr. Eben Platt, the Head of Traffic in Walvis Bay. That there's outstanding tickets and they will be arrested if they don't pay a certain amount into their accounts by EFTs over cell phone banking. As we must know, and it's also part of training to members of the community, members of the public, that it does not work like that. If there's any outstanding tickets or any outstanding warrants of arrest, the procedure is as follows. If any member of the public made contact with you, please make contact with the traffic department all over the country. There's the city police, there is Swakopmund, whether in which area it is, and ask to speak with the head of traffic if there's any outstanding traffic tickets, any outstanding warrants of arrest. Now, I received 2 or 3 days back a call that a certain person was scammed out of 10,000 Namibian dollars. The person paid that amount of money, and after our discussions, my first question was, but why did you pay? There's rules to follow. The first thing that any person, as I said previously, is to make contact with the nearest police station.
The City of Windhoek approved building plans worth $129.6 million Namibian. We tackle this in our economic news right after this.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Getting into our economic news, a total of 160 building plans were approved by the City of Windhoek in September, 11 fewer than the 181 approved in August, according to IJG Securities. In financial terms, the approvals were valued at $129.6 million Namibian, marking a 94.9% month-on-month increase from August's low base of $66.5 million Namibian. Year-to-date, approvals have been granted for 1,450 building plans with a total value of $1.04 billion Namibian. Let's take a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades against the British pound at 22.98, against the US dollar at 18.94, $2 Namibian dollars and 59 cents gets you one Chinese yuan. On the commodities market, gold, copper and platinum went up while Brent crude oil went down, trading at 0.17%, going for $93 and 1 cent per barrel.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
The European Union Parliament awarded its annual Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought to Iranian woman Mahsa Amini, who died in police custody last year, and the Women Life Freedom Movement in Iran said earlier today. Amini, 22, born in Iran's western province of Kurdistan, died in morality police custody in September last year after being arrested for allegedly flouting the Islamic Republic's mandatory dress code. While Amini's family said she had been killed by blows to her head and limbs, the authorities said she had died due to existing medical problems. Her death sparked months of protest that spiraled into some of the worst political turmoil since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. Let's take a look.
Overall, we are talking about 54 tons of humanitarian supplies. This includes water, this includes food, shelter, hygiene items, and sanitary material. Now, in terms of this 54 tons, we are going to work through the Egyptian Red Cross. So the aid is already pre-positioned in the region and is ready to go once humanitarian access is ensured. And in this regard, I'm just going to recall that, of course, we welcomed the positive announcements that came from both from the Egyptian and the Israeli side as to the opening of the Rafah crossing point for humanitarian aid. But we also noted that in line with international humanitarian law, there is an obligation to all parties to ensure safe and unhindered humanitarian access to people in need, and restrictions on quantity, destination and categories of items are not in line with this obligation.
Niger's junta says it's foiled an attempted escape by ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. He's been imprisoned by the military since a July 26 coup, despite international calls for his release. The interim authorities in Niger said Bazoum and his family had been helped by accomplices in the security forces. Military spokesman Colonel Major Amadou Abdrahman said the attempt had taken place at 3 a.m. on Thursday. This account could not be confirmed by Reuters, and Bazoum, whose whereabouts are unknown, could not be reached. Bazoum's party and family members say he has had no access to running water, electricity, or fresh foods. Niger's coup was one of 5 that have swept West Africa's Sahel region in 3 years. Let's take a look.
Niger's junta says it's foiled an attempted escape by ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. He's been imprisoned by the military since a July 26th coup, despite international calls for his release. The interim authorities in Niger said Bazoum and his family had been helped by accomplices in the security forces. Military spokesman Colonel Major Amadou Abdourahmane said the attempt had taken place at 3 a.m. on Thursday.
This failed attempt would become a plan conceived as follows. Phase 1, escape to a first recovery point near the presidential palace, to be reached by an unmarked vehicle. Phase 2, this vehicle would be driven to a plain in the Chongare district on the northern outskirts of the town of Niamey. Phase 3, from this plane, a move would be made to 2 helicopters belonging to a foreign power supposed to infiltrate them into Nigeria.
This account could not be confirmed by Reuters, and Bazoum, whose whereabouts is unknown, could not be reached. Bazoum's party and family members say he has had no access to running water, electricity or fresh goods. Niger's coup was one of 5 that swept West Africa's Sahel region in 3 years. Like elected presidents in neighbouring Mali and Burkina Faso, Bazoum was pushed out in part because of frustration over efforts to tackle a jihadist insurgency in the region that has killed thousands.
Let's get into our weather predictions for tomorrow. Katima Mulilo can expect partly cloudy conditions with a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius. Oshakati can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 21 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 37 degrees Celsius. Henties Bay can expect a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 19 degrees Celsius. Rehoboth can expect sunny weather with a minimum of 16 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 34 degrees Celsius. We'll now head over to the sports desk, proudly brought to you by SportsRep. But before that, this is a special mention as Namibia Media Holdings is honored to have our colleague Tielman van Lille named as Sports Journalist of the Year by the Editors Forum of Namibia on Thursday night. Now let's get into your sports news.
Good evening and welcome to SportRap for Sunset News. In our stories tonight, Windhoek Namibia's 200-meter Tokyo 2020 Olympic silver medalist Christine Mboma has signed an agreement that will see the Rob Youth Foundation being awarded a chance to sell Mboma streetwear merchandise. Under the agreement, 10% of proceeds will be donated to the foundation in support of their national sanitary pad drive. The Namibian Fistball champions will be decided on Friday and Saturday in the DB Schenker Fistball Arena at SKW. The first games of the Bank Windhoek playoffs will start at 6 p.m. on Friday, with the under-11 and under-14 set to determine their respective tournament winners. The champions for the National League A, B and under-18 categories will be decided on Saturday at 8 a.m. And Ibn Etzbet's influence on and off the field for South Africa is likely to be a key factor in Saturday's Rugby World Cup semi-final against England, as it proved last weekend when the Springboks eliminated the host nation in the last 8. The imposing lock, whose gladiatorial style has made him first choice in the Springboks' second role for more than a decade. Those have been our sports stories. Have a good weekend.
You're still watching Sunset News, and if you have just joined us, here are the news highlights from today's broadcast. Adosha Fishing announced that its cannery will resume operations on the 30th of October 2023 to process the horse mackerel relief quota allocated by the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources in June this year. A total of 160 building plans were approved by the city of Windhoek in September, 11 fewer than the 181 approved in August, according to IJG Securities. In financial terms, the approvals were valued at $129.6 million Namibian dollars, marking a 94.9% month-on-month increase from August's low base of $66.5 million Namibian dollars. Namibia's 200-meter Tokyo 2020 Olympic silver medalist Christine Boma has signed an agreement that will see the Rob Youth Foundation being awarded a chance to sell Boma's streetwear merchandise. Under the agreement, 10% of the proceeds will be donated to the foundation in support of their national sanitary pad drive to benefit the Namibian girl child. And with that, we've come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all the Animate platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. I am Glenora Shipura, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.